Welcome to my little dungeon of flat earth science. Today I'm going to blow the lid on the sphere for sure. This is a good one, this one for all you flat earthers and all these spinning ball science wannabes who like to argue with you. I'm going to make it quite clear how the system works, the flat earth works, how they like to fool you with the globe. Now, I've just done a couple of little videos on celestial navigation, and that spells out the whole system. It spells out the flat earth. It's even got this system in the north. This is my flat earth design. If you haven't seen my channel's videos, go back and check them out if you haven't. Here's the flat earth design. This picture here, the northern hemisphere, the sky, look, this is the magnetic fields, right? They have that system. It's called the spider. They know everything moves like that. They know everything moves like this out here in the southern field. But so you get all these science wannabes saying that there's no way there's flat, because how do you explain the expansion out here from the centre? It's just like a clock. So if the clock hand's moving from in there, the hand here, there or there, is going to be the same time all the way up there, isn't it? Well, that's how we get our latitudes in celestial navigation. They'll show you that's how it works from the centre. So they'll start their videos off telling you we're looking down on the centre of the earth through the Arctic, right through the centre of the ball, blah blah blah. But no, you throw that away and there's your flat earth map. You just work on the dead centre of your flat earth map, the Arctic. That's your longitudes, they all come out like this. Just like they're drawn on a Gleason map. That's longitude, that's easy. So those lines represent wherever you are around the globe, around the flat earth this way. Okay? And then we've got the latitudes to talk about. This is really exciting. First of all, I'll get some things out of the way before I forget them. We've all heard of the phrase, as above, so below. Well, think about that. Just imagine stars up there, or the configuration, if you can find them, represent the land on Earth. So let's say the star there represents Sydney. So straight down there's Sydney in celestial navigation. Star over there might represent Samoa. So you head for that star, and that's the meridian. That's where Samoa is. If you start working in degrees using a sextant and all that. And I've done something similar with the pyramids around, with the stars around the. See now, this is our flat earth design, right? That's what it looks like. There's a gap here. This is the tropics, the equator. I've taken some of these readings here of stars and plotted them with GPS down here in Egypt. And I reckon I've hit bullseye each time, because one had this mound, which I'd like to get over there and see what's in there, whether they've been in there already, I don't know. And another one was the intersection point of two flyovers. And another one was right there next to the street, and there's a shed built right over it, right up to the side of the street, covering the footpath. There's a shed there, right at the spot. So, you know, there's stars up there that represent, like when the Bible says, oh, we're going to Jerusalem, they're talking about going, it's all celestial navigation. The Bible's the non-physical world, if you can understand that. It's nothing really going on down here. No physical man is represented in there. It's all on a spiritual sense. So when they say they go to Jerusalem, you go there, and now we're in the physical world down here. Well, you take that and plot it down there on the flat earth, basically. So that's that. So as above, so below. Now, when it comes to latitude and celestial navigation, they want you to start imagining you're looking at this ball side on now. You've got the equator line through here. And then they start talking about slicing through like that, all through the centre of the earth, blah, blah, blah. But just ignore all that garbage, because that there equator they want you to draw on the ball side on like that. That's just the flat earth. Flat earth, because in flat earth design the equator's in there. There's the equator, and it runs around the centre, right? So if you haven't seen my video before, flat earth is basically a donut, and the centre of the donut is creation. Everything is created from the inside out. It's the centre hole of the donut. It's the tree of life that all the cultures knew about. Nothing out here would exist if there was nothing in here. It's all amplified out from here. So it's a donut, okay? I've drawn this here to complete the sphere, because I think we know of the bubble experiment, right? Frequency fight on the bubble. Well, something similar has happened here to get the sun, because everything's based on frequencies. So I think that a complete sphere, being inside the sphere, makes more sense in this oddball shape we have, that we live in. Because the sky is flat from here to there, we know that. And then it curves down here. So because we've got this magnetic vortex in the centre of the donut, it's just the way it is. This concave is exactly symmetrical with this. So there you have a nice arch, which is known as the celestial sphere. And it moves like this. You've got a northern and a southern, and they turn together like this, like two cogs, turning all the way around. They just wind in, or like this, all the way around. So that southern sphere is always rotating around 24/7, does a full rotation in 24 hours. But because it's protected from in there, you've always got your own image. There's always an image out here. It just means the star's slightly, the formation's just slightly turned out a little bit, because it's turning all the way around the earth, right? But no matter where you're looking from at night, if you're at night time, you'll see an image there, he'll see his there, it just turns like this more and more as you go around, back to exactly the same place it was, in the exact same position the next night. Although it does move a fraction due to the precession of the equinox, they call it, because everything eventually winds up the background stars anyway. Background stars in the main vortex out here. But everything back in the centre here, it stays there. It just stays in a magnetic field like this. It doesn't move. All these background stars will go up, and they'll eventually get sucked back down into here, and that's the end of it. But anyway, back to the celestial sphere. They're identical. So wherever you are out here on the flat plane, these degrees on this side are exactly the same as what's on this side. And this is all celestial navigation, GPS, whatever you want to call it. It's the same. Because that's the same like that, they want you to think you live on a spinning ball. There's the equator, and everything goes back to this point down here. A load of garbage. Thinking you live on the outside of a spinning ball upside down. Oh my God. So let's say you're there, there's your meridian. So if you're taking a sextant reading of the angle, like let's say the sun's over here, you've got your angle, right, which is from there to there. Well, it's whatever makes up the meridian from there. It's this one here. That's the calculation, because everything works to a meridian. Because in the almanac you're reading to get all your information from, they'll have the sun at that precise time you take your reading. It's meridian, right there, and you are always your meridian. So basically, the distance between those two meridians. So whatever this calculation is, has to be this to make up to the 90 degrees. meridian, meridian. One spot to that spot. Look how easy that is. I'm just giving you the overall ballpark basics. You go back and check those videos out. There's an older guy there with a beard. Yeah, he looks like a sailor. He's describing it all on YouTube. He's quite good. I've seen some other ones, but that guy, I sort of resonate with that guy. Easy to understand. And it's easy for flat earthers to convert their spinning ball garbage back to reality without too much complication. So I'm just working on the equator there, but you could be anywhere out here. Anywhere out here. Anywhere out here. Anywhere. This is how you get your latitude. This gives you your latitude. The longitude is just straight from north to there. I won't go into that, just check out the videos. But it's basic. So another thing we have to realise is we all have our own arc of horizon. We are fractals of the sun. The sun is created in the black hole. Everything's created from the black hole and it's got a sun in it. We are fractals of light. We are a sun. So the black hole and the sun has created the sphere. It's celestial sphere. We're a fractal of the light. We have a celestial sphere. That is called our arc of horizon. The arc of the covenant. You are always at meridian, no matter where you are. All these celestial bodies up here, all are projected into your sphere, no matter where you are. Obviously, location gives you a different look, but as your sphere, if you're over here, and your arc moves that way, obviously things come down like that in your arc. They're coming down in the arc because you moved away. Okay? Go down like that. You come back up, goes back up higher into your arc, to your meridian. It's just the way it is. Polaris, you're going south. Goes down in your arc. Imagine your arc. You're moving your arc this way, it's going to start coming back up your arc. Look at it that way. No matter where you are in here, you'll get your angle. You can get your angles, your degrees, your readings of whatever, focusing on whichever star you're looking at or the sun. And it all boils back to your meridian, your center point, and where the sun was at that exact time. And it's all in that book. You get right down to the seconds apparently. And that'll give you the distance from there to there. So imagine this. This is your arc. So imagine you center there anywhere on the earth like this. That's you. Getting all your readings on here gives you the latitude. You've already got your longitude this way. This one gives you a reading wherever you are this way. Because it's, if you can imagine, there's the centre, there's meridian, the centre of the dome. It's a little bit of thought, but it's, once you click, it's all there. That's the whole flat earth design broken down, everybody. So when these spinning ballers go on about the expansion out here, it doesn't make sense. Yes, it does, because all their GPS whatever is all based on this, and that's the centre, or the equator's here. So the sphere goes like this, doesn't it? It's the centre and where the equator is. Straight over. So basically, what they've done, what we're doing here, is you've taken the magnetic fields that go in here like this, and this out to there like that, and pulled them out and flipped it up. So now it goes over like this. And that's basically the magnetic field of Earth. That's just how it works. It's our celestial sphere. But we've still got this, because that's the motion of the stars. That's the route the stars take. They go like this, and they disappear down here. but they're continuously coming in, disappear, coming in, but then you'll have near the centre here. Even near the centre here, you still wouldn't, if you could see nighttime all night long, you still wouldn't have one star doing a full rotation because it's reflected from in here, in this vortex. And if it's a vortex like this, and those stars are turning, they can only go, you can only see them on your face, on your one face, then they'll wind out of sight. They'll wind out of sight, and that's what they do here. They wind out of sight because it's all projected from in here. What we see in our star rotation here is out here, from here, out there. The rotation up here, Polaris, is straight up. Polaris is the sun. The sun is Sigma Octantis. No scientist is ever going to tell you that. I don't know how long they can keep it a secret. I mean, I've blurted the whole thing. I've broken down the whole flat earth design. And how the Milky Way sits in there vertically. The sun is in there, tucked in there. As Christ, the Son, the Saviour, walking on water, walking on the top of the atmospheric layers, because the water's divided by the waters. Bring all the light spectrum together, you get white light. That's Jesus walking on the water. Born in a manger, in the trough, in the Milky Way. The Egyptians have left all that with the crocodile, the eye of the crocodile. Crocodile drawn vertically with the mouth open, because that's what we've got here. The mouth open, because this gets sucked back down into there. It all moves around there. So it all winds around here 15 degrees per hour to give you a 24-hour clock. So basic. In there we have this configuration of the planets and the different, they could all be sitting in the different layers, atmospheric layers. Because it's all based on the main seven wandering stars. The sun and moon could be separate. We've still got the other two planets out here. But early writings just concentrate on these five, so it might include the sun and the moon. Otherwise there's the other two planets that will make up the 9. It sort of makes sense as well. Because the moon moves across the whole lot, right across, because it winds all the way down and out across the ecliptic, whatever. Winds out past all the planets and back again. It's like feeding the planets energy and taking it back. It's like a harmonic resonator, oscillator. If you haven't seen any of my earlier videos, it's the planets lining up. It's planets lining up. It's the flat Earth, the sun in here, sort of an egg shape actually. The yolk there. That's why it's an egg shape, because you've got the yolk, the sun. Otherwise it's more circular right here where the black hole is, centre of the black hole. The daylight is reflected across the black hole like this. You'd think the sun was here, but no, that's the way it works. It's like this. And then you have the breastplate, which is the Milky Way, because it's tucked into the Milky Way, remember, because you're looking down on it. And there's the Milky Way. There's the sun, looks like the crocodile's eye. And there's daylight's like that. At night we see this, the back of the Milky Way. Your good telescopes showed a bit of a glare of the sun in behind. Where was I going? Okay, so, and this is the way it works, is the planet will line up here. In solar eclipse at a particular time, you'll get a planet lining up here. You might even get another one just nearly off it. But you'll have the moon here. That's new moon, right in the face of the sun. We do not see it, it's dissolved. You get an alignment. You may even get a planet out here. You got bingo. This is divine human awakening when all the stars align. Spelled out, the Egyptians have spelled it all out. that no one's clicked. So, but basically it's the Trinity. There's probably only three involved: the Sun, the Moon, and another planet. But the other planets come into it somehow. You might only get three perfectly aligned, but the other ones will be close. So there you have it. Spread the good word. Get it out to every flat earther. Put a likes up. This channel hasn't moved far for some reason. I think it's being restricted. But if I've got time to spare, what could I talk about? Those who haven't seen my channels before, we talk about the sun. That's equilibrium. That's Christ dying on the cross. That's because the sun's equal. That's the equinox. That's the 5 holy days are in here on the equinoxes, because the system's not going anywhere. It's not going winter or summer. Okay? That's where the 5 holy days come into it. It's a magic time. The equinox is a magic time. All the religions, Egyptians, it all comes back to this divine period, the equinox. So down here we have apogee, where it shoots straight out closer to the earth for the southern summer, and then it winds up back up to the equinox, and then it goes up that way, bearing in mind the sun is at the opposite end. They'll go right up to the northern summer, then back down to the equinox, then back down again to the southern summer. That's Christ on the cross, because there's a cross right in the centre vortex of Earth. Cross. Yeah. Steep gravitational potential well. Even in science, have a steep gravitational potential well. This is basically what you got in here, being created in here. When this field gets washed into here, it gets sucked into there. They know that because the sun's down here, at the bottom of this V. You know, in science they show you this diagram like this, the universe. And they talk about how it can all go back to the centre of creation, and it does, because it's all created from in here. It's the black hole here with the sun. Everything's come out, it's all amplified out. So when they give you all these dimensions, stars and everything being billions and millions of miles away, complete garbage. It's all right there in our sphere, all plastered in here. But because you've got the different layers of atmosphere, there's 7 to look through. They're all giving different perspectives, and they've all been fooled by this for distances. Absolutely fooled. Even in Plato's dialogue, there's a couple of things there. He talks specifically about the circle, the sphere, and what are we talking about here? And he breaks it all down, but his meaning, it boils down to a flat earth as a circle. But it's deep, and most guys wouldn't get it. So, but he knows. The thing is, all that literature is all divine literature. They never speak the truth, because it's only for those who go seek it. Seek and you shall find. Nothing divine is written, or maybe it was, and it's all hidden in the Vatican. This is why they invade all these countries, to hide all the truth, so they can control your mind. And it's worked, hasn't it? Because everyone thinks they live on a spinning ball, so obviously the controlling's worked. But the truth, it's all hidden. They just don't blurt it out. And you know, it's right through the Hermeticas, the Plato's dialogue. They give the hints, and only certain people will know what they're talking about and get the whole story. Because Plato spells so much stuff out, but he won't go the full hog and tell you exactly. It's like, I don't know, some sort of challenge, some test, code, I don't know. So there you have it. What else we got over here? cherubim, two cherubim protecting the gates of heaven. You're born with these things protecting the gates of heaven. The gates of heaven, the cherubim are in your brain. They're very thin airways or passageways. They expand, and they represent the cherubim because the centre of your brain is the tabernacle, and that's your holy place. And it's not open yet. When you're born into the physical world, you're half brain dead. But when it's opened, these passageways open. So basically the cherubim are protecting the gates of heaven, and they're not open. And when they finally do open, during your enlightenment, if you do wake up, they open the gates. So now the gates are open, the gates will not be shut, as it's written. But until then, you're asleep. The gates are protected. You only get through the gates if you pass the test and win the prize. Free pass go. The cherubim, that's what cherubim represents, the claustrum. It's related to Santa Claus, so check out my other videos. Scalar waves in the pyramid, they've lifted in Egypt, in Bosnia, we have the scalar waves you talk about here. They think they're going up. I'm saying they're coming back in, they're being drawn in because the Earth's field's coming up and the magic happens inside the pyramid. And the pyramid is an amplifier, just like the black hole. That's what they're telling us, and that represents the centre of your brain, the centre of creation. The pyramid, the Great Pyramid of Khufu anyway, is an amplifier of frequencies. Everything is based on frequencies. Light is frequencies. There's so much spelled out in Norse mythology, and King Arthur's story blew me away, but there's way more stories than that, just there. And this is written in the Bible or somewhere. Know ye that which is formed truly is formless, having form only to thine eyes.